So, Amir, I don't know if you heard. They're bringing back the J-51 tax abate. So it's funny. I remember it differently because I remember it was only renovations.
Okay,
it had
maybe
nothing
you're
to
right.
do with an end building.
Yeah.
And you had to go in and then you had to list, like, what did you fix? Did you do the windows? We'll give you X dollars. Did you do the floor? We'll give you Y. Did you upgrade the mechanicals? And like people used to play this game of like, we'll invest in this. But only those things that the government approved would get us a return. And then you would get this long-term tax abatement.
Right.
But it did work.
Yeah.
Multifamily guys, which have been getting crushed with that. Remember we spoke about that 2019 rule. They're getting crushed. They can't increase rents. They couldn't get any money back for renovating. You're seeing all these warehouse units. It's interesting.
And now their costs are going through the roof. Your insurance costs are going through the roof. Now you're going to have this, local law 97 that you have to green your building somehow, or there's heavy penalties involved with it. I mean, just in my building, I'm in an old loft building here in the city, and we had our condo board meeting last night, and they were saying that we have to take these huge costs and your maintenance, and there's going to be these major assessments that not everybody in the building can afford to do it. All of a sudden, these condos that were, attractive and affordable, all of a sudden with these assessments and your monthly costs are not so attractive anymore. Maybe it's better to rent. But that also goes to show you, are rents going to shoot up? So what's going to happen there?
First off, rents are going to shoot up. And what you just said is fascinating because when you go back to Miami, imagine that there was damage from the salt water, the foundation of your building, and you've been there since 1964, and they're telling you the assessments are millions. You're saying it in New York, we don't have structural issues, and yet still it's bothering you, right? So like, I completely understand that. That's like the biggest thing. So this J-51 to go back, it's like finally the government is starting to say we have a housing problem. Yep. We just lost, in my opinion, 30,000 apartments.
Right.
They didn't extend the preliminary certificate of eligibility on affordable New York program longer. That means if you don't have your financing, which you don't, right? Because interest rates went through the roof, we're not building. At least finally, they're trying to help out. We have a crisis, like you said. Our rent's going to keep going up.
Right.
Well, if we're not producing any supply and the demand is there, because New York is on fuego right now when you go out, when you and I go out.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's wild. They're just going to keep going up.
Yeah.
And you know who's going to get the benefit? Jersey City. And we don't want that. We need NYC, bro.
It's, people still manage to make it work somehow, but, costs just across the board are going up, and, development costs, just the carrying costs and the maintenance costs. And, obviously your mortgages are higher now than ever before. So yeah, I mean, just to make it be attractive, make the industry be attractive and the business be attractive, it's going to be tougher, which brings me to the next point that, hey, did you hear that there are hedge funds who are looking at REITs, right? And they're saying we could buy these REITs out. Like some of them are heavily discounted, like a Vornado, right?
Yeah.
Vornado is a heavily discounted REIT right now. And they have, amazing Class A, AA buildings in major markets. They're saying these places are heavily discounted. Why not buy these REITs outright? And then separate out the buildings and sell them individually, and they're actually valued more. Even in this market, it makes more sense. I mean, I wonder
what's Richard Gere in Pretty Woman?
Yeah, maybe he was an arbitrage guy, but I thought that was like that really makes sense. And if you are Steve Roth, or if you're SL Green, or if you're one of these major REITs, does it make sense to buy back your own stocks at this point so that you're not left in this position where the whole company could go to some hedge funder and they break up the company?
Well, I think two things are interesting. You said is the answer is they want to protect their position, but the other thing is they are the experts. We talked about it before. Not everyone can be a developer, right? Can a hedge fund dive in and all of a sudden be an asset manager and then run that in a way that can be successful? They're going to say yes. But like you said, everyone's finding out later that development's not so easy. So can you come in, add that value, break it up, flip it, and make money on it? It's a big risk if that's not your business.
Yeah.